Welcome back to part 2 of the Canon C400. The first video we unboxed it, we had first impressions, and we looked at the autofocus features, which were great. Today we're looking at the C400 in a real world application on a professional job. So let's get into it.
I can't afford to let you in, but we're bad, so what's the harm in one more sin? Take off your halo, you're beautiful. I don't care if it tears me apart. We couldn't let go from the get-go. I think we're past trying to hide who we are. Baby, I don't mind you calling, I'm still awake in my bed. Say the things you shouldn't be saying. I don't want you to act like you still have that halo, halo, got the halo. Like you still have that halo, halo, you should let it go. Don't stop, I love it when you touch my skin.
Hey everyone, Alexander here, back at you with another video. I fixed the audio if you couldn't tell. I was using these Rode Mic Pros in the last video and I had it set to mono by accident, so I had to go in the app and change it to stereo, so it sounds a lot better now. Okay, bottom line up front, I won't waste your time. The C400 was a huge upgrade, a huge advantage in my professional workflow coming from the C70. The ability to record on a CF Express card was a huge relief. I didn't have to worry about filling up cards. I basically shot on the whole card the whole day, a 512 gig CF Express card, and I was filming in RAW LT, one of Canon's RAW formats. Also enjoyed very much so the form factor of the camera body, the touchscreen for not only the autofocus, but also the menu controls. Not that you really need access to the menu controls via the screen because you have a plethora of function buttons all throughout the camera, 12 in fact on the camera body, 3 on the handle and 2 on the display. Speaking of the display was bright, it was very nice. It was, again, a huge upgrade coming from the C70, that flimsy screen on the back that you had kind of wedged in between your rig, between the V-mount batteries and the camera body itself. So I almost question whether or not I need an external monitor on this camera, the C400, because the monitor is just that good. Plus you have that touchscreen interface, which you won't have if you mount an external monitor. So that's a huge plus in my opinion. Pairing it with my RF glass, which I recently invested in, selling my EF glass was an upgrade as well. Now I can take advantage of the RF as it's meant to be, IS, or the image stabilization, since most of my lenses on the RF side are image stabilized. And of course I can utilize the image stabilization in body, or the electronic stabilization of the C400. The footage, the quality of the footage was, again, a huge upgrade. Working with RAW file formats was a little bit of a learning curve for me because I normally on my C70 film in XFAVC file formats. Usually prefer the XFAVC, giving me the highest quality footage on the C70 before you get into your RAW file formats. I never really liked recording RAW because I was working with smaller sized SDXC cards. You can see in the footage, the RAW footage, you're going to get a little bit of noise, but you're going to retain a lot of detail as well. You're going to have a lot more control of your colors. I went ahead and downloaded the latest firmware update for the Canon LUTs, the Rec 709 conversion LUTs for C-Log 2 and C-Log 3, which gives me a great base for color grading in post. You will notice a little more noise in your RAW footage, and again, that's another thing I'm still working on. I'm working with Final Cut Pro. I know that's a no-no. I need to go ahead and learn DaVinci Resolve. I'm trying to get to that point. I'm just so busy with work to learn a new software at the moment, but that's on the horizon. But for now, I'm working with Final Cut Pro, and I just denoise using their denoise applications for the raw footage, and it's looking pretty good in my opinion, but I know it could look better. It has me questioning whether or not to normally film in RAW or XFAVC. I know there's a lot of debate out there. XFAVC is much more manageable to work with. Of course, the client, 90% of the times, they don't care if it's RAW. They're just wanting clean, flashy footage, and if I can do that on an XFAVC file versus a RAW file, then I'm going to choose that option. But I was intrigued to utilize the full capabilities of this camera, and I want to, again, getting this camera, challenge myself to grow and learn. And you tell me, what do you prefer? Do you normally film RAW, or do you go for a lighter codec such as XFAVC or even MP4? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Okay, in post, the RAW files work great. They handle great. Part of the wedding that I filmed the other day, and for some of this YouTube video, I switched over to XFAVC, and the files aren't showing up on the computer. Apple is having some issues with the MXF files coming from the C400. Does it make sense to get the C400 if you already have a C300 or a C500? I would question that. I've never owned a C300 or a C500, but I don't know if it's necessarily worth the upgrade. It's almost like the R5 versus the R5 II that I mentioned the other day. If your camera's dying on you or something like that, sure, make that investment. But if you already have the camera that does most of the features, maybe you just don't get 6K, and of course the C300 utilizes that crop sensor with a Super 35, and you want a full frame, you know, that's on you. Does it justify it? I don't know. But if you're coming from something like the R5, an R5C, or a mirrorless body, or even the C70, or if you're looking at the C80, I would really look into the C400 before you consider the C80, particularly because of the more robust media types, and you get the form factor of a proper cinema body versus a hybrid like the C70 over here with that flimsy screen. I almost guarantee the C80, it might be a little more robust, but it's not going to be as much of a convenience as it is with the C400. So I'll leave it at that. To recap, the C400 is an amazing addition to my kit. It's now my A camera, the C70 being my B camera. Will I get the C80? Maybe down the line, but right now I got to invest in a few other things like a proper tripod for my camera. I dropped a lot of money on the C400. I do not have the budget right now to custom rig this thing or to get a good tripod just yet. The tripod for the C70 is mounted with a dovetail. I guess I could take the dovetail base plate off that and put it on the C400 and take the Manfrotto mount off of that one. In fact, that's probably what I'll do. And then my C70 can be more for a lighter tripod and the Ronin. So stay tuned for that video. I'll make that a video, rigging up the C400 to work for me, and then the C70 as well, A and B camera. It should be noted that I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm not a reviewer. There's a lot of talented people out there that can do all that. I'm a business owner in the filmmaking world and the photography world. I manage social media. I'm a content creator as well for people and clients and brands. I'm just trying to contribute to the world of cameras, filmmaking, and photography, and hopefully learn something along the way, because every time I do one of these videos, I get a lot of feedback from you all. You all school me on some things I wasn't aware of, or you ask questions that force me to research, and they're very good questions. So thank you for your input, and thank you for your time.